Okay, guys, so we are back with another classic style CBC breakdown where we're going to take a few shots. We're going to cover the ones that aren't necessarily in the last trailer, and we're really going to try to dig into them and through the dialogue that they say. So, of course, this is Armin. You guys can find me at Arminis, and of course, the Comic Book Cast at Comic Book Cast, and I'm here with Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
So, this trailer's been a long time coming. You know, people have been excited for it, so I'm getting right into it. Here's our look at Brie Larson on the train. You know, this is right before in the last, shot we saw her, like, she punches the old woman. So now we know definitely, yes, that was definitely a Skrull, considering she's doing, like, ninja side flips.
Yep. And for all the normies that don't catch it, they do actually in the trailer say it's a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
It's not those exact words, but it's like, oh yeah, Skrulls are the bad guys. Look at this old woman.
Yeah.
It's clear.
And it's definitely during the voiceover here in the intro. They want you to know that they can shapeshift into anybody or anything. Like, that's very much pushed throughout the trailer.
That's the one thing I'd say I don't think they did well.
Really? Because maybe it's because I'm a comic reader, so I'm like, oh, okay, there's the connection.
It's a weird one because they don't say what they can do. It's just Skrulls, old woman, and then you see these green aliens later on. So for people not in the know, I'd imagine, like, especially ones that are like, oh, why she punched an old lady? It's like, oh, so Skrulls just look like people, just like she is a Kree, but looks like people.
Right.
That's what I can see happening, especially after what happened to the teaser. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good intro. It kind of, it picks up from the highlight of the last trailer, which was her punching the old woman, gets into that. And then, we get the little, like, details there in the trailer about her, before we, like, really develop where the trailer is heading, like, what direction it's going in, which I really did like.
Oh, yeah, same. I think, it's probably not their best trailer, but I think they're doing something completely different with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna get a completely different style of trailer. So very like down, like not like depressed down, but I think they're very like small and focused on her. But
that's kind of like the next shot here. Like, I visually like it. Obviously, it's effects heavy. They still got times to finish it, but like you see, you see all of them here. We know this is a shot that we've seen pictures of. There's obviously Ronan over there with his hammer. There's
Yon-Rogg.
Yeah, Yon-Rogg. It's not mar-vell. I'm guessing it's an amalgamation now, like I've said before. So
I can see that. Unless they do the thing where they call her Mar-Vell when she takes the name Captain Marvel, and that's kind of how it ties in. But
yeah, I could see that. And I do like the shots establishing a look at this core, and we got a shot that was more in the last trailer, but this time we get a better view of everybody here. They all look pretty awesome.
It's a nice parallel to the actual Earth hangar shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the colors and the yellow and everything, obviously the plane. So it's like, she's on a different planet. She still kind of does the same thing.
Right.
Like Air Force, Kree, Star Command, whatever it's called.
And of course, if people do look over here, there he is before Guardians, before his downfall. So he's like a nobody henchman. There's Korath. So
yeah. Probably still just going to be a nobody soldier in here. I don't see either him or Ronan getting a big role in this.
Nah, I'm guessing they're like, decent supporting character. But we'll talk a little bit about that in another shot we have. As we move along, here's the shot right here and some of the dialogue. So she's a Kree warrior, and as they let us know in this, she's apparently, quote-unquote, Kree, and she landed here with no memories, so they saved her by what looks like a blood infusion?
See, I don't know, because my thinking was they're following that Life of Captain Marvel comic that has come out.
See, I'm saving myself to read that for when it's in trade, so...
So I'll try, I won't spoil it for you there, but it kind of lends itself to what happened in that.
Okay.
But this is hands down RoboCop.
Okay, so you know what? It is spoiler talk, so I mean, you could spoil it. I mean,
yeah, you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Right. Well, basically in that, Margaret Stoll picks up of an old, I want to say Claremont tease back in like the 4th issue of the original run, where it was unknown if she was actually half Kree or not.
Oh, okay.
And like it turns out like her mother was a Kree and her name is Kal-El, not Carol.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit Superman-y, but
okay, so maybe, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Whatever.
So my thinking is like, maybe something like that, not necessarily, but it's definitely she's on Earth here and she's got a green nosebleed.
Yep.
So it's either that weird explosion that looks like the quantum realm, but I don't think it is going to be. It could be like changes her there and then,
Right.
or it's like a case of it's just like awaken the Kree DNA.
That would be my guess. That's what I was
'Cause they
thinking.
also
But
say in that the life of Captain Marvel that the Kree can have powers. They're essentially like mutants. Like they hit puberty and it activates, but hers just took a little while longer.
right.
So maybe like that. I'm not 100%. That's what it's looking like to me anyway. But because
Yeah,
if
I
she
can go
had
with
green
that.
blood the entire time, like she gets knocked down a lot in this trailer.
Yeah.
So you would have kind of noticed that this little girl's got green nosebleed. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Next up, I just want to put this shot in here because visually, oh Lord, what a beautiful
Yep.
God.
very in line with the Xandarian
Yep.
architecture,
Yep.
which
But
I love the look of it. I'm just kind of like I'm not expected. I imagined the Kree to look different to the Xandarians,
that's
but yeah, it's still a great
of
shot.
like why I put it in here because for a second I honestly thought it was a Xandar, and I was like, wait a
Yeah,
second.
it looks the exact same.
And I
Just
was
that.
hoping for more of a. I don't want to put it down, but more of a fantastical alien otherworldly thing. Like I don't know how to describe it the
I
best
get you.
way, you know?
But like where Xandar kind of looked like all clean for the most part, and the buildings had this weird sort of like patchwork shape.
Yep.
This one kind of looks a bit more industrialist on the bottom.
Mhm.
Then you had these massive towers, kind of like Judge Dredd, I suppose. But
Yeah, like it reminds me of like Judge Dredd crossed with some of the more squared off buildings on like Coruscant. Like
yeah,
it has like that patchwork, which I do like it, and I think it's decent. But I was just expecting in my head something different, so I'm a little like
Like, it's still a fantastic. Like whoever did the concept art for that is amazing. But
Oh yeah, no,
it's just like I kind of feel like I said it before, but it's fine.
yeah. So the next shot, here's her getting kind of a little bit of an exposition dump here while they like I don't know, you could say electrocute her, but
They're doing something. Like,
yeah.
they're pumping her full of guns and chucking her in the brain. Like.
Yeah. Who do you think this is?
I don't know. My initial reaction was, "Oh, that's gonna be her mother."
Yep.
Like, and that's gonna be the whole Life of Captain Marvel thing. I don't. I'm not. I don't know the way they kind of present whoever this is. I'm not 100% certain on that. Like, after it, but apart from that, I've got no idea. Like, it's not the Supreme Intelligence, or I hope it isn't, because I want my giant blob head in the jar. But
Yeah.
maybe this leads to Supreme Intelligence. I don't know, but I don't know. I imagine it's something like that.
Yeah, I could see that honestly. Something I think this character is definitely going to have more of a involved role than what we're thinking, and she seems like the motherly figure. I don't want to like sound like just guessing, but it just seems like that. Like they're gonna pull that type of route. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like her Kree mother, if that's what they call them, and like she's gonna be behind everything. Like she's trying to like war profiteer off the Kree Skrull War or something like that. I can.
Guaranteed that's going to be a plot of the movie, obviously. So it's
and it's like Carol's the weapon they're trying to sell. It's like, look, we can do this for you. We can keep this war going and make millions off of it. But...
Right, exactly. Right after that, here's one of the first big money shots in the trailer. Holy crap, that looks epic! Like, damn, I love that green suit. Like, it's just her shooting. Like, I don't know, what is that? What are those? What do we want to call those? Powers, because they haven't really defined what they're called in the movie.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you jumped ahead a little bit. And I was like, whoa. But no, yeah, I kind of want to see the Kirby crackle on their powers, but the way they've done it, where it's like little solar flares, it would not work. But
yeah, it'd be a little weird. But I get what they're doing here, and I get like kind of the way they're conveying it, which also brings me to like the shot of her getting like that whole electrocuted to the brain right here. So this is kind of a shot that's been discussed since the first trailer. Is this them like indoctrinating her into something? Is this them activating her Captain Marvel powers by the look of it? Like, what do you think they're doing?
I can see that. Like, I can see them having it so she can't use them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like as a sort of like a lock on her abilities and everything. It's like, oh, well, when you're here, you can do whatever, but you have to go into this thing before you can go out there, so you can
So
use everything.
you think it's kind of like a Bucky thing, except it's more,
Kind of, yeah, a bit more alien.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
honestly I would like. And then her arc is that it's always inside of her. She can unlock it at any time, which kind of then explains her, always being Captain Marvel. So
yeah, yeah. Because it doesn't look like she's fighting against it, and she's clearly conscious throughout everything.
mhm,
So she must know what this is and what it's doing. So
right.
I'd assume it's like unlocking her powers or something.
Yeah, something along the lines of something like that we've seen before. Which
Unless it's like a bit of therapy.
oh
I use that in a very loose
yeah,
term because obviously it's like lighting to the fourth
what is
temple.
this, Mitch? The 30s therapy? Why do we
Um,
electrocute your face?
I need to talk to someone. But no, kind of like she says about the flashbacks and everything. Like maybe it's that's how they just treat those. It's like, oh no, you're fine. Don't worry about those. We have something to fix that.
hmm
And like she just believes and all that. Like, they're the two options I'd say are most likely.
Right. Yeah. So the next shot, I put this one in here because now we know Maria Photon Rambeau. So if there was any doubts whether she was going to be this character or not, uh, it's confirmed she's in the jet. This is obviously a flashback to I don't know how many years before.
I wouldn't imagine that many,
Yeah.
just because I know they also kind of hint at to one of the Carol's abilities in this, but
Mm.
which actually just completely throws what I was about to say out. 'Cause I was like, she doesn't actually age that much, but they say she's going to live longer, so well, I can't really contradict myself, but
Yeah, I feel like they would want to keep this character alive just because, and just to be PC and all that. It's another character you can add that can inevitably get superpowers for a ultimate all-female look at how
oh
awesome this
yeah,
movie is. So
yeah.
I feel like that's the way they're gonna go, and maybe she'll be a
Yeah.
long-lost friend.
Well, because Maria Rambeau is the mother to Monica Rambeau,
Mm-hmm.
who was the Captain Marvel, Spectrum, Photon,
Yup.
whichever moniker she has going forward. So, and I think Monica actually is in this as a little kid. So of course it's what 95. I think it's
So
set in.
you give it 20 years, 20 plus years till when she
Exactly.
shows back up.
Yep.
Yeah, the age is just about perfect for have a little.
Unless you be like, oh, the woman playing Maria is just gonna be Monica, and they do that thing. It's like, oh, you look a lot like your mother. And you
Yeah,
go there.
see, that was my. That's also a way you could take it, which would make sense. I mean,
It's also cheaper on the budget for casting, so
true.
save every penny you can.
Yeah, it's all got to be conscious about the
Yep.
pennies, especially if your Marvel Studios really
Oh,
struggling out there.
I mean, spend cheap, make more.
Yeah. So the
I say
next,
cheap.
right? Cheap, 200 million cheap. So here's a good shot of the '90s Quinjet.
Yep, it's very red and white, very
I
connected.
like it.
I like it. It looks cool. It looks you can see the growth in that technology and
Oh
like
yeah.
everything's slimline. No, there's no
Well,
giant hulking Ford jets in the back of it
what I
anymore.
like about it is it has that very 1995 Lamborghini sharp lines.
Mm,
Like
mm,
it has that type of aesthetic to it, which I really love from the '90s. It's like it's clearly like jumped out of that time period. So
definitely, definitely.
now this hangar behind them, this is probably before the last scene, or this is after the last scene with Nick Fury and everything. So what do you
Mm.
think they're going somewhere like something important's happening here?
Do you know what would be a really cool little Easter egg? I don't think it's the same place.
I was Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Yep.
I was like, what if that's where Tahiti was?
Well,
You can kind of fudge it. It's a cliff.
I mean,
It's a cave in a cliff. No.
it would be kind of cool if they're like, hey, this is where one of those, aliens is. But
They just happen to leave half a Kree in a tank, and you never know. All
I
the people
mean,
saying it's not canon. Well, guess what? It's
I'd
canon.
be okay with it. Coulson's like, maybe, later on, they're like, maybe we
One
should
day,
move
next
somewhere
time.
else, right? Next time, maybe. Terrence Howard head just scrolls across the screen.
Fun
Oh,
fact: if
no.
that does happen, that'd be 100 of actors who say that line who don't come back in movies. But...
Yep. But yeah, Quinjet. And going from that, here's her helmet kind of dematerializing. And I want to put this in here because very much Black Panther, Peter Quill style helmet right here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's almost the exact same effect as Quill's.
Yep.
That weird like pixely grid, and it just fades back and like crumbles.
Honestly, it's the best way to do it. It looks so
Yeah.
sweet. Like, it's...
I question how the hair works, like how it pushes the hair into the mohawk, but it comes forward and goes back. But that's me being really like pedantic about little details.
Yeah.
It's just like this hair doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too, but I'm like, you know what? It doesn't.
No,
Whatever.
it really doesn't. It's a comic movie. She flies around and she shoots little solar flares out of her hands. Like, I don't need to know how the hair works.
Yeah, but it's just a cool scene right here. Obviously, I'm thinking she's like, what, in a Skrull ship maybe?
I say that it looks Skrulls, yeah. It just looks a bit grim, not as neat.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a bit old in the background, so I say it's a Skrull ship.
Yeah. Going off of that, speaking of Skrulls, here's a good shot of a Skrull. It's very brief, but obviously, we see some of their weaponry, and I think they look better. Like, I love the way they look. The ears are freaking perfect. Like,
Oh yeah. I've even kind of got over the lack of the purple hat that the Skrulls have.
yeah,
You know, they look fine to me. Like everyone being like, oh, they look so cheap. It's like they don't. They look fine. They look like Skrulls. Like, what do you want? All right. It's a green alien with like a nutsack chin. Like it's a Skrull.
they look fine, and they look if I imagine the Skrull transitioning from comic to live action, here's the Skrull.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe not necessarily the robes. 'Cause I suppose a lot of Skrulls wear robes, so
yeah. I guess.
You also get a little voiceover from a Skrull in this. I assume is it Ben Mendelsohn playing a Skrull?
Yes.
I assume it's him because it's a slight Aussie accent or Australian accent, and we've heard that that's going to be their accent. So you just had a slight little glimpse of the Aussie Skrulls, and that's just wild to me that the Skrulls are Australian.
Well, speaking of the Skrulls, let's talk about bad dudes here, because here's our look at least another look as to Jude Law's character, which at this point we all know he's going to be a bad guy, and he's probably a puppet in the war machine.
Yeah. I mean, he the way he talks to Carol in this, it's like, yeah, you're going to be a bad guy.
Oh yeah, it's like, are we supposed to be shocked when you're the mentor that's evil? Because I'm not getting a shocked vibe. You're Jude Law, for the love of God.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a villain. It's like, even though he looks like he could quite easily play mar-vell, and gave him a blonde wig, he would. He could even play Genisville. But right here, it's like, yeah, you're.
I want a flashback of him with a curly blonde long wig. I demand it, Marvel.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
The money shot of the next trailer.
Please. I imagine the way that this film's going to be structured, there's going to be a lot of flashbacks in between like present day stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if you got like a Yon-Rogg flashback.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that.
That wig, because I want to. Not that Yon-Rogg was blonde, but
right.
for the sake of my headcanon that he was mar-vell.
And
also, it's nice to look at, before we move on quickly, the differences in like the Star Force suits.
Oh yeah, no, I love the differences. They're slight, but you have to look at them and you'll notice them.
It's like, his one's definitely the most different compared to everyone else's, but it's a nice little glimpse. He's got like, the wires on the arms and the double star, whatever that means for the Kree, but
he's double the commander.
Also the weird shoulder things, but
so after that, here's another shot, real close up of a Skrull right here. Now this is like the Skrull money shot in the trailer.
Oh yeah. This one, it looks fantastic. I assume that's Ben Mendelsohn as well.
I'm assuming he plays like the bad guy and everything, so he's got to be, this is probably him giving up a little bit of a speech. What I like about it is you can tell just the little pieces that are gonna, move around to shapeshift, which I need to see what that looks like. Like that's like the number one thing I want to see.
If there's one thing I wanted from this trailer, it would have been that.
Same. That's all I really wanted. And I didn't get it. I'm like, next time.
Yeah, and that's the kind of like what I was saying about earlier. It's like they didn't show them shapeshifting at all, so I don't think people like the normie crowd are going to get the sense that these are shapeshifters.
Yeah.
It's like, they possess people. But...
Yeah.
And I just want to see it happen. But...
Yeah, I just need to see it happen for the sake of my own sanity,
Yeah. And yes, he still kind of looks like Piccolo from that Dragon Ball movie, but he looks like a better Piccolo.
Dang.
Yes,
Well,
I referenced that movie.
off of that, the back of Ronan looking onto a battle taking place. Clearly, this is the big, I'm guessing, third act finale. The
Oh
war is
yeah,
above the
yeah.
planet. Everything's about to go
I
down.
say I'd bet that's above Earth and
Mm.
everything. And how we didn't know about this, I don't know. Maybe Fury does some Fury stuff, but this is definitely like the start of the Kree Skrull War.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we're going to see it in full in this because they don't really. They kind of allude to that hasn't actually really properly started yet.
hmm
So introduce it
So
here, kind of scrolls later down the line. You can play off that
I'll
storyline.
go slightly into conspiracy theory because I love conspiracy theories and all that nonsense.
Your Alex
So,
Jones hat on.
right. So, 1995, there was a famous giant UFO sightings and flashing lights in the sky above California.
There was good
So,
shout. I think you got that one.
I'm guessing this is kind of going to be that. And Shield's going to be like, "Yo, we got to. There's aliens out there. How do we mask this? No, don't say nothing. It was UFOs, but we'll just ignore it. Like weather balloons and stuff
So
again."
all these people are going to be right, but it's just seeing the lasers flash about.
Which that's my guess. That's why I kind of put this in here. I was like, I'm going to guess that's what they go with, but I just can't wait to see this battle.
What if they Because I assume that the Kree must have been here before,
Oh yeah.
and the Skrulls as well. So what if they kind of tie it into Roswell and everything? Like every alien thing has been Kree.
I would hope so. That'd be awesome. That's so
It's
much
like,
good retconning too. Like,
just fill out everything.
Well-
Maybe it wasn't Kree. Maybe it was the Skrulls crash landed on.
we're gonna find out that the little gray aliens are the ones they stole from the Fox franchise and dissected because they didn't look like Skrulls. It's,
That means acknowledging those movies. Though.
oh, true. Okay, never mind. Scrap that. Scrap that. I never said nothing. So after that, here's our shot of Shield agents about to storm. Like the big old bunker, and there's Ben Mendelsohn. That's the
Yep.
Skrull who's infiltrated Shield. So,
Yep.
do you think he's the one that scratches Fury's eye?
If I'm being serious, yes.
I mean, I see him as Fury's quote unquote mentor. That's what I see him as.
100%. He looks like who was the bloke in Winter Soldier?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Just the names. Yeah.
Is it? I want to say Redford.
Yeah. Robert Redford.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, he has that kind of a look.
Yeah. He's scheming. We know he's scheming.
Oh yeah.
And he's schemed already. So yeah,
Ben Mendel scheming.
Ben Mendelsohn. he's played like the same type of villain in like 5 movies in the last 2 years, so I know what to expect. Okay, like
Except now he's gonna be green and Australian. Is Ben Mendelsohn already Australian?
I believe so. Yeah.
That explains the accent then.
Yep.
It's like, don't worry, Ben, you haven't got to change that much. Just tone it down slightly.
So after that, the biggest money shot in the trailer, full on binary right here.
Right, is she appearing in this shot?
Okay, so I think she's maybe gone through the door, like from one side to the other when they shut it. That's my guess. Yeah.
Because that was like the way they cut the trailer. Like she puts her foot on something and then she's here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's obviously nothing to put her foot on there. So maybe she's gone through it. Maybe I've seen people say she just materializes.
See, that was my guess. Like they're gonna be on the run. They close the door because they want to stop her, and she just materializes on this side and then completely just wrecks them.
But this is the binary shot I've wanted.
Yep.
I've wanted to see this for a long time.
Yeah, the hair and the light.
Yeah. So ever since Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out, and there was that trailer of Captain Marvel and the hair goes up, I was like, I want that in the movie. Like it has to be that way.
Yep.
So thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Papa.
Oh, thank you, Papa.
You fed me good. Praise Papa. You fed us good.
So from that, speaking of feeding good, the next 2 shots in this trailer, her literally with the flick of a wrist destroying entire ships in space.
Oh yeah. This is. If I got any worry about this movie, is how do you make people care about someone this? It's the Superman effect.
Oh yeah.
Like also kind of like Black Panther. Oh, his suit's invulnerable. He's not really in any danger. But it's this part. It's just like It looks great. This is trailer CGI. I'm not even going to mention it really.
Yeah, same.
You know, and they do that one Captain Marvel pose that all the statues do and all the
Yep.
artwork does. And it's like, oh look, I'm looking back.
But this is the type of like when I saw this, I was like, Thanos, you better get ready because she gonna wreck everything in her path when she stands in front
Oh,
of you. Like,
this is the thing. I was thinking about this earlier, or I was talking to someone about this. I can't remember which one. But you know, Thanos hasn't had to do anything against anyone in the movies.
yep.
So is Thanos gonna like? People say he's gonna get buffed for Avengers 4. So like, is he gonna be like crazy powerful? And everyone's just like, you know, you
I
look
mean,
back at Tony Stark drawing that one bit of blood, and you're like, what the hell? That was
look,
nothing.
he thinks he won. He's on his home or whatever planet is his home
Titan
now.
2.
You know, Titan 2. He's chilling there. Clearly, he's probably stopped lifting, so he's gotten skinnier. So he's
Dad
not
bod
ready for
Thanos?
this, you know?
Is
Like,
that what you're gonna get?
like we're gonna see him. He's gonna be like just saggy old muscle because he ain't like doing Titan juice. It's gonna be bad, and she's gonna
So
just own him.
he's gonna be in his little blue and gold wife beater. He's gonna have his little belly, his little bit of a grey stubble on the beard. On the
Dad
chin.
bod Thanos. I'm sorry. I need this. I need this to happen.
I am gonna copyright that and make it into a shirt. So if I see Dad bod Thanos anywhere,
This is where it came
I'm
from.
there
We're
is-
sending illegal cease and desist.
it is currently 3:42 a.m. on Tuesday, the 4th of December. I have said it. I patented it. If I see that
Oh.
anywhere, I want at least several pennies a shirt.
Several pennies that you sold.
I'm cheap like that.
And then the final shot here. Here's the cat. Here's Goose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, 100% Goose is taking Fury's eye. This is too suspicious.
You know,
Like-
honestly, that would be hilarious.
You know, because we've never seen Fury be that happy
True.
and be like that sort of thing. You know, what if the cat was the thing he trusted and it is actually a flirkin? And you know, maybe the flirkin talks. I doubt it, but you know.
I mean, it's got to be just by looking at like the leaked Lego and toys and stuff. It's like, oh, it clearly doesn't have normal cat patterns and stuff. So,
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first thing it gave away. It's like, yeah, like even here you can just see it on the face. It looks really deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, that's not a normal cat.
Yep.
But if that cat doesn't take his eye out, I'll
We
be
mad.
I'll be very mad.
So,
Marvel.
yeah, that's it for the Captain Marvel trailer. Any closing thoughts? Honestly, I think this was the trailer they needed from the start. Like this is the one, you know?
I don't think it's changed a lot of people's minds from the few I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like just in our Discord and my timeline on Twitter and stuff. Like the people that weren't too hot on the first one weren't too hot on this one. But I think I agree with you. I think it's the trailer it needed. You know, we had the somber's not the right word, but it's that kind of area. Like somber first trailer, and then you've had the slightly more bombastic second one.
Right.
And it told you a lot, but it didn't really tell you anything. So we now kind of know what Feige meant when he said it's RoboCop, because it's literally RoboCop.
Oh god, yeah.
It's like she nearly dies, they take her away, they've manipulated her into something she's not.
Yep.
They're hiding something they're probably for their own gain. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Overall, this was kind of the trailer I hope they released first. I've seen a few people come around to go, okay, this piques my interest, and I think, you know, there's still obviously the people that are going to be against it regardless. That's just how it goes. You know, Marvel's so successful, gotta hate them at some point. So,
And let's be honest, the people that aren't hot are gonna see it anyway.
yep.
No. So
Yep.
they could literally put out no trailer at this point.
Exactly. So overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our breakdown, and of course we'll be back soon with Avengers 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, whatever else, and maybe even Dark Phoenix, but probably not.
Pick a movie from 2019, we might be back with it.
That's
Because
true.
they're all dropping in the next week. So, or
Yeah.
two.